Rich Max.
The retirees who actually keep their money, the ones living comfortably with zero financial stress at 75, 80, 85 years old, they all share one weird habit. They quit buying stuff. Not the necessities, they've got plenty of those. I'm talking about specific categories of purchases that drain regular retirees dry, while the wealthy ones just pass right on by. After watching how this actually plays out for years, I've narrowed it down to 7 things wealthy retirees flat out refuse to buy anymore. Some of these will surprise you. A couple might sting a little because you bought one of them last week. Stick around till the end, because if you only change one habit after watching this, that's the one. Let's get into it. Number 7, brand new cars. Look, I know this one's been said 1,000 times, but most people miss the real reason wealthy retirees avoid them. It's not because they can't afford them. They could buy 3 of them in cash and still have lunch money left over. It's because they understand something called depreciation, and they treat it like it's a contagious disease. Here's what actually happens when you drive that shiny new $65,000 SUV off the lot. By the time you make it home, pull into the garage and pop the trunk to grab your dealership balloons, that car is now worth about $55,000. You just lost 10 grand. For what? The privilege of being the first person to spill coffee on the seats? After 3 years, that same vehicle is worth around $39,000. You've lost almost half the value just by owning the thing and driving it to Costco a few times. Wealthy retirees buy 2 or 3-year-old certified pre-owned vehicles. Same car, same features, same heated seats that warm your buns on cold mornings, but somebody else already ate the depreciation hit for them. Then they drive it for 10, 12, sometimes 15 years, change the oil religiously, and laugh all the way to the bank. I knew a retired pharmacist worth about $3 million. The man drove a 2011 Toyota Camry with 200,000 miles on the odometer until the day he passed. He used to say, "It still gets me to the grocery store. What more do I need?" Meanwhile, his neighbor, still working part-time at 73 because he had to, just leased his 4th Cadillac in a row. Tell me again who was actually winning. Number 6, extended warranties and unnecessary insurance. This one combines the biggest scams in modern retail. You go to buy a refrigerator, the salesperson does the whole song and dance, then right at checkout they hit you with, "Sir, would you like to add the 5-year protection plan for just $249.99? And they say it with that concerned little face like a doctor about to tell you your dog has 6 weeks to live. Here's the truth nobody at the store will ever admit. Extended warranties are pure profit. Pure profit. Stores wouldn't push them harder than a used car salesman with rent due if they actually paid out. Most products either fail in the first year, which is already covered by the manufacturer's free warranty, or they fail well after the extended warranty has expired. Funny how that works. Same goes for these absurd add-on insurance policies people buy. Identity theft insurance, cell phone insurance, pet insurance for goldfish, travel insurance on a $200 hotel stay, mortgage life insurance, cancer insurance, accidental death insurance for the second cousin twice removed. There's an insurance product for everything now, including some I'm pretty sure they invented last Thursday. Wealthy retirees figured out a long time ago that the insurance industry makes its money by selling you protection against things that will probably never happen. Their philosophy is simple: insure the catastrophic stuff, self-insure the rest. They have great health insurance, they have proper homeowners insurance, they have liability coverage, but they don't pay $14.99 a month to insure their toaster oven against acts of God. If you can't afford to replace it without insurance, you probably shouldn't have bought it in the first place. That's the rule. Number 5, trendy home renovations. Oh, this one is everywhere right now, and it's draining retirement accounts faster than a Vegas weekend. You know what I'm talking about. Open concept everything. Quartz countertops, but only the specific veining that's trending on Pinterest right now. Shiplap walls, barn doors, subway tile in 8 different patterns. That weird gray paint that everyone painted everything between 2018 and 2022 that's now considered hopelessly out of style. The accent wall, the black framed windows, the farmhouse sink that cost more than my first car.
Here's what nobody tells you about trendy renovations. By the time you finish them, they're already going out of style. The kitchen you spent $80,000 on last year, in about 5 years, your grandkids are going to walk in and go, "Oh wow, Grandma, this is so 2024, and they'll mean it as an insult. Wealthy retirees who actually stay wealthy don't chase trends. They renovate for 2 reasons only: function or genuine structural improvement. The roof is leaking? Replace the roof. The plumbing is from 1962 and held together with hopes and dreams? Update the plumbing. The kitchen layout is genuinely terrible? Sure, redo it, but they don't tear out a perfectly functional bathroom because somebody on HGTV said matte black fixtures are in this season. I read that the average homeowner spends about $40,000 to $80,000 on a mid-range kitchen remodel, and you typically only recoup 60 to 70% of that when you sell. That means you're losing $15,000 to $25,000 every time you do a trendy renovation. Do that 3 times over a 30-year period, and you've handed Home Depot the equivalent of a brand new car. The wealthiest retirees I've met live in homes that haven't had a major aesthetic update since the late 90s, wood paneling and all. And you know what? Their bank accounts look fantastic. Number 4, luxury status goods. Now this one's interesting because there's a real psychological shift that happens with truly wealthy retirees. It's almost the exact opposite of what most people expect. When folks first start making decent money in their 30s and 40s, they often go through what I call the logo phase. Everything has to scream wealth. Gucci belt, Louis Vuitton bag, the Rolex, the Coach purse, the Tommy Bahama shirt with the giant Marlin logo splashed across the chest like a billboard. But by the time they hit retirement and they've actually built real wealth, something flips in their brain. They stop buying the logos entirely. Why? Because truly wealthy people don't need to advertise. The whole point of a $400 designer t-shirt is to communicate to strangers that you can afford a $400 t-shirt. But once you're actually rich, you stop caring what strangers think. That right there is the entire secret. Wealthy retirees buy quality, not branding. They'll happily spend $100 on a perfectly tailored navy blazer that lasts 20 years. They will not spend $100 on a hoodie just because somebody printed Balenciaga across the chest in big block letters. There's an old joke that goes like this. When you're broke, you wear designer to look rich. When you're middle class, you wear designer to feel rich. And when you're actually rich, you wear a plain white t-shirt from Costco and nobody can tell if you're worth $10 or 10 million. Here's the brutal truth. The only people genuinely impressed by your luxury status goods are people who can't afford them. Real wealthy people see you walking around with a $1,500 designer handbag and they assume one of two things. Either you're in serious debt or you work in marketing. Number 3, expensive hobbies. This is where retirement goes to die for a lot of folks. They spent 40 years working hard, finally hit retirement, and they think to themselves, now I'm going to take up the hobbies I never had time for. Then they pick the most expensive hobbies on the planet. Golf, where the equipment alone runs you a couple grand. The country club membership is $15,000 a year, and every round costs you $100 plus the inevitable $80 you spend on lunch and drinks at the clubhouse afterward. Wealthy retirees aren't anti-hobby, far from it. They believe hobbies are essential for a happy retirement, but they pick hobbies that cost almost nothing or hobbies they can do at a reasonable cost. Walking, hiking, gardening, which has the bonus of feeding you, reading from the public library, volunteering, woodworking with tools they already own, fishing from a $300 kayak instead of a $300,000 yacht, learning a new language on a $12 a month app, playing pickleball, which has somehow taken over America and only costs about $40 worth of gear total. The math on this one is wild. A retiree who picks golf and boating as their main hobbies will easily spend $25,000 to $50,000 per year supporting those habits. A retiree who picks hiking and gardening might spend $500. Over a 25-year retirement, that's the difference between leaving your kids $1 million inheritance and asking them to help with the property taxes. Hobbies are supposed to relax you. If your hobby gives you a heart attack every time you open the credit card statement, that's not a hobby. That's a financial obligation with extra steps. Number 2, percentage-based financial advisors. Buckle up because this one's going to ruffle some feathers, but it's important. The financial advisor industry has done a masterful job convincing regular folks that they absolutely need someone managing their money, or the whole thing will explode in a giant fireball. Now look, some advisors are genuinely worth every dollar. Some have saved their clients from making catastrophic mistakes, but the standard fee model, where they quietly skim 1% of all your assets every single year, no matter what, is silently devastating retirement portfolios across America. Let me show you the math, because this part is honestly horrifying. Say you've got $1 million saved up for retirement. Decent nest egg. A 1% advisor fee sounds tiny, right? Just 1%. That's only $10,000 a year. No big deal. Only? Over a 25-year retirement, with compounding factored in, that tiny 1% fee can eat between $300,000 and $500,000 of your nest egg. $500,000 gone for someone to occasionally call you up and say, yeah, just stay the course, ride it out, the market will recover. Wealthy retirees figured this out a long time ago. The savvy ones either manage their own money using simple low-cost index funds, which honestly takes about 20 minutes a year, or they use what's called a fee-only fiduciary advisor. Fee-only fiduciary advisors charge a flat hourly rate or a flat annual fee, maybe $300 to $500 an hour or a couple grand a year. You pay them when you actually need their advice, get a comprehensive plan, and that's it. No silent percentage, no invisible drain. The math is brutally simple. The less you pay in fees, the more you keep. The more you keep, the longer your money lasts. And the longer your money lasts, the wealthier your retirement actually is. If you're paying 1% or more of your portfolio every year to an advisor, do me a favor and run the actual numbers on what that's costing you over the next 25 years. You might be horrified, or you might decide it's still worth it for the peace of mind, but at least you'll know what you're paying for. And number 1, the silent wealth thief, emotional purchases. This is the biggest one, the one that takes down more retirements than bad investments and medical bills combined, and it's the one almost nobody talks about because it's uncomfortable. Emotional purchases are anything you buy because of how you feel, not because you actually need it. And retirement, my friend, is a minefield of emotional triggers. You're bored on a Tuesday afternoon, so you buy stuff online. You're a little lonely, so you order something just to have something to look forward to in the mail. Your friend posts their cruise photos on Facebook, so you book one too, even though it's not really in the budget. The grandkids visit and you spoil them with $400 worth of toys
toys they'll forget about before they're back home. You drive past a dealership and think, I worked my whole life, I deserve this. Sound familiar? Wealthy retirees develop what I call emotional spending immunity. It's like a superpower they've built up over decades. They don't shop when they're bored, they have actual hobbies for that. They don't buy things to feel loved, they call their family. They don't spoil grandkids with money, they spoil them with time, which is way more valuable and doesn't show up on a credit card statement at the end of the month. The most powerful question they ask themselves before any non-essential purchase is this: will I still be glad I bought this in 30 days? Try it, seriously. The next time you're about to click buy now on Amazon at 10:30 p.m. at night, just pause for a second and ask yourself that one question. If the answer is yes, go for it. But you'd be amazed how often the answer is probably not, and how much money that single pause will save you over the course of a year. Because here's what nobody tells you. The biggest threat to your retirement isn't the stock market, isn't inflation, it isn't even healthcare costs, scary as those can be. The biggest threat to your retirement is you on a random afternoon feeling a little bored or a little sad or a little anxious and reaching for your wallet to make those feelings go away. Wealthy retirees figured out somewhere along the way that money can't actually fix feelings, so they stopped trying, and that single realization is worth more than any investment strategy they'll ever use. So, there you have it. The wealthy retirees you see living stress-free in their golden years didn't get there because they hit the lottery or inherited a fortune. Most of them got there by quietly not buying stuff that everyone around them was buying. While their neighbors were financing new SUVs and remodeling their kitchen for the third time, they were keeping the old Camry running, leaving the kitchen alone, and watching the bank account grow. Boring? Maybe, but you know what's even more boring? Working a part-time job at 76 because you spent your retirement on golf.
If this video gave you something to chew on, hit that like button. And if you want more videos breaking down the real money habits of folks who actually retired comfortably, go ahead and hit subscribe. Drop a comment below and tell me which one of these 7 hits closest to home for you. Be honest, I'm guilty of at least 2 of them myself, so this is a no judgment sound. I'll catch you in the next one. Take care of yourselves. And maybe, just maybe, skip that Amazon cart tonight.